bit of unexpected news today. Jurassic World Rebirth has been filming in New York City. Despite the fact that the movie wrapped a few weeks ago, cast and crew was spotted filming on Saturday the 19th in the city. We've got photos and videos that give us a closer look at Scarlett Johansson and Rupert Friend's characters, as well as some very interesting story implications. Welcome back to Jurassic Outpost. Let's take a look. Starting off, I want to say a huge thank you to these two accounts on Twitter who shared all of the photos. We also have a video of the filming courtesy of the Daily Mail shared with us by Keeping Up with Scarlett. So let's take a look at what was going on in
New York City.
We've got actors Rupert Friend and Scarlett Johansson together in a black SUV. The scene appears to be the two of them, Rupert driving Scarlett into an area of the city, possibly Manhattan. In Jurassic World Rebirth, Rupert Friend is playing Martin Krebs, a big pharma representative, and Scarlett Johansson is playing Zora Bennett, covert operations expert. An interesting thing to note, her clothing here resembles the same clothing that she was seen wearing when Rebirth filmed at the University of Greenwich in the UK. We speculated that that was a scene within the first act of the movie, some sort of setup for the story. There were dinosaur skeletons at that location, and we believe that it was set in New York, possibly at a museum. So looking at these new photos, we have Martin Krebs driving, Zora in the back. There are some large HMIs set up here with a bounce board. The vehicle is a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, fully dating this movie to the modern era in case there was any doubt. Anyway, the most interesting photo is that of these guys in hazmat suits. The layout and positioning here tells us that in this sequence, the vehicle pulls up to view whatever it is these guys are spraying. In the video, we can see that the hazmat suits are disinfecting the area, something on the ground. The area is blocked off, and I'm uncertain if this will be seen in the movie, but Miguel is graffitied on one of the blockades. Interestingly, these hazmat guys are part of the New York City Animal Control and Rescue, the logo which we have here. That logo sports a raccoon, a pteranodon, and a velociraptor. It also says since 1993. I have to point out too, in this other shot, the film canister is painted in the Jurassic Park Jungle Explorer colors. I mean, that's just too good, man. Come on, what a nod. Real News Hawaii have speculated that this filming in New York, since it's off the schedule, could either be pickups, reshoots, or some sort of promo for the movie. There are some photos shared by Keeping Up with Scarlett where Zora looks sad, as if reacting to the scene as it unfolds in front of them. What do you think has happened here? Now, I want to explore what all of this could mean, but first, I think we should go over the synopsis, as I think that will help give us some extra context. This action-packed new chapter sees an intrepid team racing to secure DNA samples from the three most colossal creatures across land, sea, and air. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the ones in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Skilled covert operations expert Zora Bennett is contracted to lead a team on a top-secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's three most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by marauding aquatic dinosaurs, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face to face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. I mean, it does sound cool. This synopsis does sound cool. It sounds very David Koepp. I'm in for this. I think this scene that we're seeing here in New York City is part of Zora Bennett's recruitment, part of the way that she gets contracted to secure the genetic material. And since Jonathan Bailey, in addition to Scarlett Johansson and Rupert Friend, was seen filming at the University of Greenwich, perhaps this scene is a meeting between the trio in New York City to discuss their mission and the paleontological aspects before they depart. But what exactly is happening to the world? Holds the key to a drug that will bring life-saving benefits to humankind. I can't help but think of the DX disease, Disease X. DX is a prion-related disease featured in The Lost World and mentioned frequently in tie-in material and merchandise for the film adaptation of the novel. Prions are the simplest disease-causing entities known, even simpler than viruses. They are protein fragments. They are so simple they can't even invade a body and have to be passively ingested. DX was first mentioned, as we said there, in the novel, in the Lost World novel, and with David Koepp having worked with Steven Spielberg on Rebirth, it makes you wonder if they went back to some of these very early concepts. It was theorized by Ian Malcolm as well as Sarah Harding that the genetically created dinosaurs on Isla Sorna developed a prion-related disease called DX, based on records found on the island. The young dinosaurs were being fed goat's milk, which is very hypoallergenic. The problem arose when the InGen handlers fed ground up sheep meat, which was not hypoallergenic, to the carnivores. The compies were scavengers and used on the island as waste management by consuming the feces of other dinosaurs, thus spreading the disease over carcasses which would infect other dinosaurs. Eventually, all the raptors were infected, as a single bite from an infected carnivore can infect another dinosaur, which would eventually lead to the entire island dinosaur population being infected with the disease, ensuring the re-extinction of the dinosaurs. Is it possible that the dinosaurs across the world in Dominion, the ones that have mostly died out or migrated to other environments, were slowly infecting the human population? It's entirely possible that a prion disease would develop and slowly infect certain chunks of the population. We saw the same happen with mad cow in the UK, which is, I think some people are still believed to have that infection inside of them. So could Jurassic World Rebirth be giving us the DX story at long last? It's a very, it is a Crichton concept, a very logical story thread in this universe. It ties into genetic engineering and the dangers of that. And if we think about the possible ways where something like that could spread, if you had wild compies taken over New York City, taken over some of the areas where, say for example, rats live, and a side note on that, you should watch that rats documentary that Morgan Spurlock made. It is crazy just to show the true population, the numbers of these rats. It is wild.
Man, they said we don't have a rat problem. Jesus, thousands of them.
They're concerned about disease.
Tapeworms.
Parasites.
Put it in nothing.
What if the compies began to infect the human population by being quite bitey? That's one way, of course, but Rebirth might not be giving us DX at all. It might be something else, something completely different. Maybe we are just missing the context on these images, but either way, this movie isn't shying away from it. The shot with the people in the hazmat suit decontaminating something in a large city, that's quite an impactful image. It's also right outside a Shake Shack. And the Daily Mail says, the shoot for the upcoming new installment of the Jurassic World franchise has moved on to New York City. On Saturday, 2 of the stars of Rebirth were spotted shooting a scene on the bustling streets of Manhattan. Initially, after getting her hair, makeup and wardrobe done, the actress was seen making her way to set, dressed in a blue suit and a white top, white sneakers and dark sunglasses. She was seen in the backseat of an SUV with co-star Friend, who was in the front driver's seat. The set took place in front of a Shake Shack restaurant and featured a group of at least 4 people in hazmat suits touching up the area and spraying some sort of liquid in an area that looks to be sand. That could mean this particular scene will have lots of special effects and CGI that will be done in post-production. Gareth Edwards is serving as the director and is working from a screenplay from David Koepp. The script is so incredible. David Koepp wrote it. He returned after like 30 years to write the script. He's so passionate about it, which is so awesome. I'm such an enormous fan of the franchise and a huge nerd for it. I'm just like, I can't even, I'm pinching myself, Johansson added, before admitting, I've been trying to get into this franchise in any possible way for over 10 years.
New York City.
All has been quiet on Jurassic World Rebirth since filming wrapped a couple of weeks ago now, so this was quite an unexpected piece of news. What do you make of the New York City Animal Control? That certainly isn't something we've seen in the franchise before. It's different to the DPW and other organizations in the larger world, and with InGen's return in this movie, it really feels like the story is at least trying to tie itself closer to those original movies. And I'm all for that. That's enough from me. What are your thoughts on all of these new images? Be sure to leave those comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more Jurassic.